Okay, Asmongold with a title that says "Boomers Be Like." Now, as I don't qualify as I'm almost a boomer. I think I'm almost there, but I would like to put myself in a boomer category. I'm just gonna shame myself publicly right now. Hold on, I just have to. I'm not really ashamed to be put in that category, because we worked really hard to get here, and we're not weak, sissy people. We tend to have thicker skins and can handle criticisms. It seems like there needs to be more of that in the world. See, I could definitely qualify as a boomer. Do you hear how I'm talking right now? Amazing. I'm such a good actor. No, seriously, I'm a boomer. So let's see what Asmongold's got to say here about boomers.
Boomers be like, you have it so much easier in today's world, just work harder. Gen Z's rent prices versus average income. We're scammed by the concept of adulthood. Yeah, it used to be if I work more hours, I can buy a house. Now it's if I can work more jobs, I can afford rent. Yeah, I think, this is going to keep getting worse, by the way. Yeah, this is going to keep getting worse because the value of these people's labor isn't increasing at the same rate as the value of...
Well, that's true, because the currency is being printed over and over again. So there's an abundancy of fiat or paper in the world that actually it's funny because what's happening is people think of it as inflation because everything around you is increasing in price. But actually what's happening is that the value or the worth of the currency is deflating. So what's really happening is a deflation of the dollar and its value, which I always thought was weird because as a trader, when I look at the Dixie, which is the DXY, which is the ticker symbol for the American dollar, I always wonder because like people say that the dollar is not worth a lot and there's so many printed, and yet the actual worth of the dollar can be checked on the Dixie. And interestingly enough, the DXY is up. So the dollar value is actually up. So interesting that sometimes that what's seen on the chart is not really correlating to the actual currency that we hold or the dollar bill. And I'm talking about the American dollar bill. I think every country is having issues with especially holding U.S. denominated debt. Any countries that are invested right now into American T-bills or T-bonds are going to have issues because American debt is toxic. And I think the world's waking up to the fact that American debt is toxic. And I think also that I'm sounding like a boomer right now. So let's keep going.
Of property. There are more people, but the value of labor pretty much stays the same. No houses for millennials. Okay, so like for a lot of my friends, my friend Alec owns a house, married, very actually like...
By the way, this is what's going to happen to the 32, 33-year-old group and under. That this type of inequality right now is essentially slavery. This is slavery at this point. Like really, when you have an entire populace that gets this pulled on them by people that are making decisions, basically 12 people in the world in the central bank make all decisions for all of us. It's the weirdest thing that it exists the way that it does right now. It reminds me of like a coven or some weird vampire group that decide the fate of all humanity. And these 12 people, which is like the board of governors and I think 5 different types of corporate CEO people that continually get replaced in the central bank. These 12 people kind of decide monetary policy for the entire world. So it's a little bit strange to me that the world operates like that. And I think that it's an antiquated system. And I think that people who are intelligent enough to understand it would look at it as if it was something out of a fucking Lord of the Rings book. Like that you have, all of the Nazgul basically telling us what our monetary policy is. It's antiquated. It's barbaric. If people really understood essentially what's happening, there would be so much outrage. I think people are waking up to it though. And like people will wake up to it more and more the more that people understand the inequality that's happening right now. And the fact that Americans are going to have to suffer and choke on the amount of debt that we've created for the entire world. This will come back huge to Americans. I hope Americans understand what's on the way. Like it's nothing good. You can fool everybody only so long until the charts start looking like this. When the charts start looking like this, it's like the Titanic. It's like if you're Jack right? And you're on the boat with Rose, and the iceberg hits, right? Okay, I'm using the movie Titanic. I'm sorry. But you know it's sinking. You know that's the alarm bell. This chart is an alarm bell, man. And I don't think there's any coming back. I don't think there's any amount of printing that's ever going to bring it back. It's going to take a long time. But you know, the interesting thing is, like, this form of capitalism went off the rails a long time ago. And I personally think it's when we got off the gold standard. I personally think it's Nixon, and I think the decision not to back your currency by gold was the second it just went downhill. In fact, if you look at a chart of the value of the dollar, it went down like an amazing amount after 70, was it 71, 72? It's insane.
Very normal life, like a disturbingly, like if I found out Alec was actually a serial killer,
right,
I'd be like,
right.
yeah, I thought so,
bad,
but like, okay. And there's literally, like, he's such a great guy. He's always been a great guy. I remember, like, he didn't even want to go egg cars with us whenever we were kids, okay? Like, that's how good of a guy he is. And anyway, so Alex got his own house, and like, these are all people within the ages of, like, I'd say like 28 to 35, right? Mm-hmm. Then we've got, let's see, Jason, who was having trouble paying rent for a long time, and then he actually joined the Navy, and he worked in a nuclear submarine. And then now he works at a nuclear power plant, and as a supervisor. And so he owns a house, and he has a kid, and everything is good with Jason. And basically, yeah, he has the Homer Simpson lifestyle. He unironically does, and he gets drunk all the time. Like, I think the only video that I have of Jason, or that's not uploaded by me, is a video of him in a bathtub full of water with all of his clothes on, drinking alcohol, yelling at a house party, like somewhere on Riverside.
It's actually real life Homer Simpson.
And so, yeah, that's Jason. And let's see, Eric. I am pretty sure Eric is doing fine. He's been doing all right. I actually had Cody told me, like, his roommate works as a lineman for electrical lines, getting paid $96 an hour. Yeah, but fuck that. Yeah, apparently somebody got killed on the job or some shit like a while ago. Cody was telling me the story secondhand, and I heard about that. I said, oh, fuck. Right? But yeah, there you go.
That's a dangerous job, being a lineman. Whoo, man. Whoo.
Well, I guess in that case, you have a retirement plan one way or another. Depends on the state. I get paid $167 an hour doing the same. There you go, man. So, like, yeah, I think that really what this is, the people that it really hurts are people that don't really, I think if you have a skill, you can make money. But the problem is, like, for like unskilled labor.
Wait. I will say this. Everybody's got the skills. Like, there are people that are too lazy, right? There's people that are too lazy to want to learn or to show their skills or practice, but everybody's got the skills within them. Like, everybody can get the skills. You know, you don't need a diploma. Like, if you want to go that route, you know, go that route. It's a hell of a lot easier. I should have done that when I was a kid, man. But, like, everybody's got the skills to make it. And you got to believe that. You got to believe that. Trust me. When it comes down to it, you'll have the skills. If you get yourself in a situation where you have to have the skills, and if you don't have those skills, you learn them right away. You learn those skills right away. So everybody's got the skills. And if you don't, you die. And that's just the truth of it. And that's hardcore from me. That's Darwinism, man. That's called Darwinism. Everybody's got the skills. Trust me. And if you don't, you want them. In those situations, you got to hold on. You got to find those skills. Because, you know, and then you got them. You've got those skills. Everybody's got those skills.
The value of that hasn't really increased at all. Like, people that 167, what the fuck? Yeah, no, for real. Like, people do have good jobs.
Okay, there are a lot of people out there with no skills because we've protected them. I like what Aether's saying. Aether goes, yep, sure, DG. There's no stupid people out there. They don't exist. You know, that is the actual truth. You know, what Aether's saying, he's absolutely right. We've protected people that can't. I mean, how deep do we want to go down this rabbit hole? How deep do we want to go down this rabbit hole, man?
It exists. Yeah, dangerous jobs usually pay more because it's harder to get insurance. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And please don't use the term unskilled labor. That's propaganda. Oh, it's true. If you're an HVAC certified electrician, you're more skilled than a McDonald's fry cook. That's right. I said it, and it's a fact. If you're a cashier at Walmart, you are less skilled than a doctor. Stop it. Just stop the delusion.
Right. Right.
You are a few years away from being replaced by a machine.
Yep.
Skilled at what?
God, he's right. He's right.
At doing a job that's hard to do. It's that simple. I didn't say they weren't less skilled, but not unskilled. No, I think it's basically the same thing. Like at a certain point, like what is the skill of being able to hit a button on a cash register? What are we really talking about here? It's a job you can train somebody to do in a week. You really think that should be on the same spectrum as a doctor?
Nope.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
It's been 8 years.
But everybody has the skills to be it if they want. And that's the thing. And that's what Aether's saying. Like, there's just a lot of dumb people around because people are sheltered and people are safe. And so, like, they're not being confronted with, like, real life dilemmas and consequences. So they're not really, like, owning up to their skills that are inside them. Everybody, I believe, inside them has the ability to do it. But not a lot of people express it because a lot of people are sheltered. You know, a lot of people feel safe in their comfy little bubble, and they don't go out and they don't experience life. They don't get the skill sets they need because they never apply what they could because they're never put in a situation where they do, and they're just lazy. They're just like lazy people out there. And I would say the majority of people are like that.
Years just in school. It's just like, what are you talking about? Plenty of unskilled labor. Absolutely. Then the value of it goes down every day. No, because there's something.
You know, and I hate to say this, but this is the truth, man. Any type of little fast food place you go to or any restaurant, like the service with the like younger kids that are in their teens, you know, trying to make it. These kids do not do anything. I mean, for the most part, in my experiences, they don't do anything. Like, their service is bad, like on an epic level. I'm like worried when I get beyond boomer stage and I got to go to a home and they take away my entire net worth, my life, so that I can have a small little 10 by 10 space to live out the rest of my days in VR. Let's hope that VR comes much further with touch and all that wonderful stuff. But I'm dreading being taken care of the generations below me because I literally think that with the level of service and the level of quality of the level of work is so piss poor. It's so scary that I'm beside myself. And then I tell Christy, I'm like, I sound like an old man, right? I tell my girlfriend, I sound like an old man when I say that. And she says no. She's like, no, it's actually terrible. You know, like usually she loves to prove me wrong. Christy's the first person to disagree with me. So, you know, when I'm asking her questions, I just imagine she'll disagree with me for sake of argument. That's the relationship we have. We're like second graders on the playground that you know, are continually going at one another. It's the attraction. It's the fire. But like in this case, she agreed. She's like, no, it's actually shitty, DG. Like, the service is actually shitty. You're right. And those words from my girlfriend, I don't ever expect her to say that, man. When Chrissy says I'm right, I think I hear that maybe as many times as I've seen Haley's comment.
People that can't even do a cash register job. Didn't say it's on the same spectrum as doctor. That's a straw man. Well, I mean, you did actually say that it is on the same spectrum because you said skilled and less skilled, which means that it's on the spectrum of being skilled. So this is a straw man that you have created. However, listen, I understand what you're saying. And obviously, jobs that are easy like that, there are still some people that can't do it. You're right. But the truth is that most people can. And that level of, like, for example, people used to work on like assembly lines and they used to just like turn nuts all day, right? Or like, you know, turn screws. Well, they don't do that anymore because robots do that. Eventually, that's what's going to happen.
I love reading your comments, by the way. It's awesome.
Because the value of that work is next.
I love Asmongold talking about this. One thing I noticed is like how nice it is to be able to read the chat here, and it's not like scrolling down. Like I think everybody aspires to be like that bottom right chat right down there where it's just like scrolling off the page. But like that makes me sad one day if I hit that level of success. I worry because like I wouldn't get to read what you guys are writing now. You know, like, I get like a moment of sadness. I'm like, you know, maybe it's good that I haven't like gotten to that level yet. Like I feel like I should cherish these moments where like I can actually read what it is that you guys are writing here, you know, and be able to like know every one of you. You know, like it's crazy. It must be weird for him to have to deal with that mentally, like just getting buffeted and assaulted by like continually seeing all that and then like picking out those things. I would hate not to spot you guys in chat. I would hate not to spot every single. I would do my best. I don't even think I could stream properly, you know, because I'd be like looking for a "let's go easy" comment or James or Matt Style or Hugh or Doug or, you know, like I'd be looking for all of you. Like, okay, where you at? Where you at? And they'd be like, DG, you haven't said anything this entire stream. So I'm reading the chat. You know, like the entire stream. Hi, welcome to DG360. Where all day I'm reading your chat because we're that successful and I can barely keep up. Oh, there's Hugh. Oh. Hi, Hugh. How you doing? Oh, shit. Oh, there's DEF CON. You know? Like, I don't know how I'd feel about that. I would feel very upset, you know? Like, it's a weird juxtaposition, you know? DEF CON says, by the way, DG, what did those 50,000 channel points that I redeemed do? Oh, you should be able to have the DG stash mode emote. DEF CON with that. I saw 17 minutes ago. It looks like DEF CON claimed his points. Congratulations. You should see an emoticon that looks like a DG with a mustache, and you should be able to use it. But some people were saying they were having issues, so I might have to go in there and look at the permissions and see what's going on. Twitch is a little loopy like that, man.
Next to nothing.
Also, I'm a boomer, so I don't know how to work.
Be replaced by a robot. So my best advice is that this line is true, is accurate, and you have to have a skill, because if you don't, nobody gives a fuck about you.
Nobody does.
It's not fair.
Zero.
The life isn't fair.
I tell my son this all the time.
It shouldn't be like this, but it is like this.
So man up, put the pants on.
Do it,
or you die.
I prefer automated checkout whenever
This is why I love Asmongold. This is why I have a whole playlist of Asmongold on the channel. Like, to this day, I can watch Asmongold just being Asmongold talking, because I literally, like, feel like this would be one of my friends in real life. I could talk to Asmongold all fucking day long. I would love just to have a stream with Asmongold talking to him like a little fanboy, you know? Like, oh, Asmongold. I'd be so... I respect Asmongold so much for being able to be so out there and truthful and honest and open. That's why he has the following he has. I would like to think that I actually embody some of those characteristics, you know, like I think this is the reason what makes streaming good streaming is when the streamer actually has connections with the audience. I think that is so important. I do not see that on any, it's very rare. I don't see a lot of streamers connecting, you know, I really don't see a lot of that out there, you know? Oh yeah. US debt is causing most issues, James, for sure, dude. Mad Styles keeping it real. He says, life is a bitch, but I'm trying very hard to break its back and do my own thing. Dude, Mad Style, that's because you're hardcore, bro. Red Bear says, but DG, you say the same things. What is Asmongold? Do I sound like Asmongold? I agree a lot with what Asmongold. The very few times I disagree with what Asmongold's viewpoint is, or you know, the way he sees things or perception. Very few times I actually listen to Asmongold. I could probably count him on one hand the amount of times I've disagreed with him. For the years I've watched Asmongold. I remember Asmongold breaking out a little bit after Athene. I was a huge Athene Wins fan. I just loved it. I knew what Sheeran was up to. I knew that he was like acting as a character when he did the Athene Wins, and I was all about it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was wonderful. You know, the lines got blurred with the whole Athene legacy, and Athene kind of got lost a little bit. I think Sheeran got lost into the Athene character a little too hard in his real life. He brought over some Athene in the real life, and I think that's what happened with Dean. and why Dean may have left. I don't know. I'm speculating right now. I think they're all great personally. Everybody over the Athene Wins channel. Reese, I used to talk to Reese, you know, like back in the day. I don't know if you guys even know who I'm talking about. Put a 1 in chat if you know who Athene Wins is. I mean, this is like the oldest of old school guys. You guys remember him? It's a ghost town. Like Futz doesn't know who I'm talking about. Asmongold watched Athene like all the time. James has no idea who I'm talking about. Like Athene has faded into the mist. Aether doesn't know who I'm talking about. Wow, it's crazy that nobody remembers him, man. He was like one of the very first to put like a girl in a thumbnail. He was like the master clickbait man back in the day. Hold on, let's see if we Athene wins. Let's see. See if you guys, I don't even think he's got any videos left out, man. He's and then like everybody, it was so controversial. Best of Athene. Let's see if somebody's made a best of Athene video, so you guys know. I'm bringing this up because essentially rip old Athene. Asmongold reacting to Athene. Yeah. So Asmongold and I, we both watched Athene, man. Like, you know, back in the day, Athene was great, dude. Like old Athene was great. Let's see. Hold on.
Yo, motherfuckers. Who is this? Who is this, man? Who is this? This is Athene.
This is Athene.
He was always a character,
from
man.
Emwiz, best paladin in the world. You got that shit? Best paladin in the world of Warcraft.
Dude, he was the meta. Athene was the meta. Athene brought paladin class into World of Warcraft. Nobody was playing paladin, man, and he turned paladin into what paladin was back in the day, World of Warcraft. This motherfucker knew how to play, and he used it to his advantage. And then he created like this alter character, this ego called Athene. You know, it started from a joke. This might be like kind of cringy to you guys, but back in the day, this was the only dude doing this type of thing, man.
I guess you can't. She speaks. She doesn't speak Alliance language. You need to speak English. You understand English? It's the language of Alliance. It's English. You understand English? Just like me. The skill number one. Number one.
Mister, please.
He's in a shop right now. He's in a shopping mall right now, and like this is the things he was one of the first that would do this. Like literally, Athene kind of brought. I think Athene was one of the very first to like go out there, take a camera, and just be a fool in front of the camera, you know. And he brought like the video game. He brought World of Warcraft out into the real world, and vice versa. Like he was doing something different, and I always loved what he was up to. And I think Asmongold actually, you know, watched a ton of them, because I think Asmongold got kind of like his vibe, like Asmongold's vibe. I feel like he watched so much Athene that he was like, okay, like I'm just gonna kind of. Asmongold didn't get as theatrical as Athene at all. Asmongold's always been Asmongold. But I think Athene inspired him. I think it's safe to say that Athene kind of inspired him a little bit, because at the time, I don't know if Asmongold was streaming, and he was playing World of Warcraft, you know, and I don't know. I would say he's a pretty big influence to Asmongold.
Check out items myself, less awkward. I don't really mind that. It's whatever. We live in an era where people.
Sorry to go down that path. There's really nothing to do with this video, but like I think it's kind of like interesting, like the history. Some people are into that. Some people are like into the lore of like YouTube content creators. Because there's like a lot of history that people these days don't even want to like take the time to learn about who it is that they watch, which I find like really fascinating. Because like I always like to know like the history, like where the people that I watch, like where they came from, like where they started, how they started, their journey. Like that stuff to me is actually fascinating. It's like nerd lore, you know? Total nerd lore.
People can educate themselves online, but nobody wants to learn. That's true. There are a lot of people that spend a lot of time tweeting about how much they hate the society because they are a loser in the society, Meanwhile, they never realized that if they had invested that time into not being a loser in society, maybe they wouldn't have needed to make that many tweets in the first place. I have no problem with somebody who wants to be a NEET, do nothing, and just basically live off society and do the absolute minimum. But don't go and blame the world because you want to do that. This is a good thing, though, is people need those jobs.
What's up, Sith Lady Crystal? Thank you. Nice to have you here.
You learn, take them, and the rest is just lazy. Welcome to the fam. Yes, and it will become more the case. It's not just about having a skill. It's about having a skill that you can't see being replaced by a robot, because AI is going to make that easier day by day. Yeah, of course, you're right about that. Robots will replace your job as well. Yeah, I just hope that I own the robot. Sure. Yeah, everything changes. Everything always changes. Things will always be different. And trying to keep and hold on to the past is a,
losing game.
You're just going to lose. Yep. This discussion about people's skill is not the correct view of the issue. There's a number of incentives and rewards to accumulated wealth in our area. Why do you, and this is the problem that some people have, is they try to extrapolate their problem to, like, society.
Right.
And your problem isn't society. Your problem is your problem. Right. And so you're trying to think about, like, the greater societal value of having, resources and compounding interest and everything like that. That doesn't have anything to do with what you do whenever you wake up tomorrow. This is an abstraction. This is an abstraction that you can focus on that makes you feel better for not trying to immediately improve your own personal life. It's always easy to look at the world and say the world is rigged. And you know why it's easy? Because you're right. Right. And it's never going to...
Right. And don't be bitter about it. He's right. Like, the world is absolutely rigged. The entire world is absolutely rigged. So, like, the response to that is to step forward and continue putting one foot in front of the other, because the alternative is death, man. Like, you have to keep going forward no matter how hard it is. Now, you're going to have some times where you got to sit down and you got to take a rest. You're going to have some times where you feel like you're walking backwards. Sometimes you are walking backwards, right? But the point is that you snap yourself as quick as you can into the mindset that you step one foot in front of the other. These are the things I respect about a lot of the members of our community, like Tech, who I absolutely love, who's not got a real great thing going on right now in his life, and he shared it with us, but I'll refrain from that. But he's got a lot of hardships right now of the worst type, and that's his attitude. Tech, you guys know Tech. Tech stops in every once in a while. I love that dude. So philosophical. Got his own channel. That has these wonderful conversations. Pepe, I need his link, if you could link up Tech's channel. And he just, like, sits there and he'll talk to you, like, super nice guy on his channel. He develops these connections, and I think that's really what I go for. And I like those people on online streaming, making videos, whatever it is. I like those types of people. That's how Tech is, and he's dealing with things, and that's his mindset. One step in front of the other, because you got to fight. Like, you got everything about it is worth fighting for. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. You got to fight.
That change. I'm a skilled laborer that has accumulated wealth. But I don't work harder. You did work harder because you acquired a skill to make value. Like, that's crazy to me that you don't realize that. Hot take: society would solve the majority of its issues if being billionaires was literally impossible via being taxed to shit as you approach that amount. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's realistic. I think that's that's really not the main issue. Is billionaires, like, billionaires are not the main problem. Like, I agree that, yes, obviously maybe somebody shouldn't have that much money, but usually the people that have this much money, these are not dragons like Smog that are, like, sitting on a pile of gold. Their billions of dollars is not cash money. This is assets in a company. This cash, do they want to leverage it? It is, to an extent. It is. But it's not that simple, is what I'm saying. What do you define as working hard?
Aether says, this is where I disagree. If the world is rigged and we don't try to unrig it, What's the point in trying? First off, let's answer that question, Aether. The world is rigged, and it is important to stop trying it. You know, it's that classic kind of rebellion versus the empire, that good fight. You know what I mean? I think in our analogy, with that analogy, that Star Wars analogy, I would say that what we're up against are like, you know, about 150 Death Stars. Like, imagine 150 Death Stars. I feel like that's the opposition we have in the real world today, because I would put myself in the rebellion camp. You know, like, I would do that. I would fight. I think the probability of defeating this is very small statistically. You have to get people really upset. And you'll see people will get upset. The higher the prices of things that go up around us, Aether, you will see them get upset. There could be that rebellion. I hope in a constructive way. But you do have to fight the good fight. You're right, Aether. I like what you said there. I like what you said there, man. Aether continues to say they've already rigged it so you lose. What makes you think if you try harder they'll be nicer to you? That's a slave mentality right there. You fight to unrig the world, then your effort matters. Absolutely 100% agree with you, Aether. I love that mindset, dude. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier, Aether. He's just like, you got to put one step and foot in front of the other. If you see the tyranny, then you become the goodness. Then you get involved in your government. See, like, the true thing is a lot of people forgot to be citizens. You know, and this lines up with the game we play called Star Citizen. We cover a lot here on the channel. You know, like, there's this lore behind Star Citizen and how you become a citizen. And you're like an Uber citizen. Like, you do as much as you can do for the UEE, become a citizen. And you have the ability to fly around, right? It's like those people put up the effort to do it. Same way in real life. You know, you got to talk about our forefathers and what they fought for to get out of the boot of being taxed to holy hell and back again. And the irony is that our taxes now as Americans are higher than the tyranny in which we tried to, when we overthrew Britain. We wanted a place where we could come to terms and make a new community that lived under a higher aspiration, this ideal world called America, right? We've run away from it or become too lazy to even know. We are so many more generations further from that vibe, you know? And I think people need to connect to become a citizen again and realize that there's a responsibility that we have, that if we don't get involved into things that are happening around us, this is what happens. In a democracy, in a governmental format of a democracy, you're relying on people to polka. Because who doesn't love polka? Everybody loves it. Thank you so much. Let's Go Easy. By the way, we are having a fundraiser. Thank you for reminding me right here for Crystal and her beautiful girl, Athena. We are almost there. Let us raise some money to help her with her medical issues. And let's do that. Everybody, algorithms, thank you so much. Let's Go Easy. That $5 is going to her. Awesome.
I don't think I work harder than your average McDonald's wagee, but I work 5 times more. I would argue that the people that work at fast food restaurants probably do a harder job than most of us. Like, working in a restaurant is, in my opinion, one of the hardest jobs in the world. But it doesn't matter. You know who else works really hard? A horse.
Damn.
A horse that has to carry a carriage or a wagon. They work really hard. But are you gonna pay the horse? No, you're not. You just get another horse. Don't be a horse. I don't have much choice. Really? You don't have much choice. You have 99 messages in my chat. 99 plus messages in my chat. Let's go ahead. Let's find out. So you have 99 messages in my chat. I'm not pro-Hamas, I'm anti-Israel. So you're educating yourselves yourself in a foreign matter across the entire world to where you have an opinion on it that you feel comfortable enough expressing on a public platform, complaining about, while you are typing in a Twitch stream that you have to have high-speed internet to obtain the ability to watch, and you have done so ever since 2021 with over 1,000 messages in the chat since then, but you don't have a choice and you can improve your life. I can think of a way to improve your life. I'm going to start right now.
Oh, yeah.
This is my boomstick.
Oh yeah, man. That's, you got to, man. Like I think I dread the day. Like as much as it would be great and I can say, "Oh, we've made it." I feel like you guys would get lost. Like the chat would be so ridiculous, and then I'd become what I'm seeing Asmon become. Like he has to become this. He has to he's got millions of moderators at this point, and he still is banning, man. Whew. He's got to ban it. He's got to ban it out because the chat's so ridiculously flooded with imbeciles, Like, oh, man. Red Bear's my super mod. He's got the green tickle sword. Red Bear, you better be ready, dude. You better be ready. You better be at the ready. I want all my mods to be at the ready. Whew, man.
Now.
None of you are getting
Get the
banned.
fuck out of here and do something for yourself.
I like that. That's good. That's Asmongold, man. That's Asmongold.